Hi, welcome to another video at BooksGenie.ai. In this video, I'm going to show you how to create coloring books. This is an update to the existing video about creating books using BooksGenie.ai. And the reason for that is that we actually took our customers' feedback seriously and we redesigned our software to allow you to create coloring books easily and faster. Let's get started. So once you sign up to BooksGenie.ai, you will be presented with this screen here. And then the first thing we need to do is to create a new project. So when you click on create new project, this dialog will pop up. And as you can see, now we have pre-configured book settings. So we have settings for puzzle books, journal books, and so on. And these will basically allow you to set up a project faster, right? So if we choose one of these, for example, all you have to do is just enter the project name and then change or choose your page count, and then you move on and you're done. But if none of these predefined configurations suits your need, you can always choose this one, custom project, which would allow you to choose all the options for KDP. So I'm going to choose this one just for this demo. I'm going to create this one as call this one as coloring book. And then when you click on next, we'll choose our cover type. So I'm going to go with paperback and I would like to have a glossy finish. Then I'm going to go with next. And here we need to choose our trim size or the book size. Usually for coloring books, I go with the square format like 8.5 by 8.5 inches. Or this is also a popular format like 8.5 by 11 inches. In this demo, I'm just going to choose the square format and click next. Then we're going to choose our interior. Since this is a coloring book, we are just going to choose the black ink and white paper. And then for the page count here, I'm going to leave it to 25. This time we don't need to be so careful about the page count because we have the ability to add and remove pages, and I will show you that as we continue in the video. So click next. Now we are in the review process. So this is just a recap of all the settings that we chose. And if you are happy with this, you can just click on create project. Once that's done, the project will automatically open in the new book editor. As you can see, this is the new interface. So I'm just going to walk you a little bit through the interface so that you get familiar. It's pretty straightforward. So here at the bottom, we basically have the page management. So you can actually scroll into it. You can also use this button to just move around. And if you would like to select a page, you just click on the page. Let's say you would like to have more real estate on your screen. What you can do, you can hide this page navigation here. So we have this button here, you can toggle that on and off. And what you can do as well, you can still click here and you will be able to navigate between the pages using this menu here. We have also our zoom. So you can zoom in and zoom out using this one here. On the left side is basically the toolbar. This is a very dynamic and enhanced toolbar that simplifies your interactions. So you have background, shapes, text, images, paper, icons, and we're gonna touch base on all of those as we go through the demo. You can always bring the pages back if you would like. You can also make this one smaller if you need more real estate, or you can keep it the way it is. All right, that was just a quick intro. It's not the main point of this video. So let me show you how to create coloring books now. You just go to this AI magic here in the menu, and then you have a lot of options. One of them is coloring book. So you click on coloring book. This will open this dialog. And the first thing you need to do is provide a theme or an idea. What is this coloring book about? So in my case, or for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to use a very simple theme, and I'm going to choose wild animals, right? Wild animals, as simple as that. But it can be more descriptive if you have specific themes that you would like. And then here, you need to specify the number of pages. This will define the number of illustrations that we're going to generate. In my case, I'm just going to go with 4 here just for the sake of this demo. You can choose a language here as well, because every illustration we're going to generate, the AI will also generate a title that you can include in the pages, as I will show you. So I'm just keep this one to English. What's new now is a different art style or the target audience, right? So if you are creating coloring book for children, then you choose this one because then the illustration will be very simple for the children to color. If you are targeting teens, then you can choose this one here because it will add more details to the coloring illustrations. And then if you are creating coloring books for adults, then you can choose either adult beginner or adult advanced. Depending on what you choose here, more details will be added. So coloring for adults will not be the same as that of children. So for the advanced, there is a lot of details that are going to be included in the image. So this is probably what you're going to choose if you are creating some mandalas and so on. So I will just choose children for now and click next. Now the AI will generate an outline for my coloring book. And it takes a couple of seconds, sometimes minutes, depending on how busy the system is. All right, so now we have our suggestions here. And in this stage, you can actually, if you don't like one of them, you can just delete it, right? And if you are happy with the result, you move on to the next stage. Moving to the next stage means that you're going to generate images using AI. So I'm just going to go and click next. So as you can see, you don't have to wait for these images to finish. In fact, you can close this dialog and come back later and continue. Why? Because depending on how busy our system is and how many people are creating coloring books at the same time, this could take really long time, right? And you don't have to wait for the illustrations to finish because once the illustrations for your book are generated, you will receive a notification like an email saying that your your illustrations are ready so you can continue your work. In fact, I'm going to just show you that right now. So I'm going to exit right now. I will not continue this wizard, so I'm going to exit. And as you can see now, we have this menu here, right, which says coloring creation in progress. So when you click on it, it will bring you straight to the same screen where we left out. In fact, even if you click here to create new illustration, it will always bring you to the existing one. So you have to finish this one to start a new one. Okay, and just to show you that you can actually exit, right, while they are generating, you don't have to wait for it. So now I'm going to reopen the book and my progress is still here. So I just click on it and you see my images are there. All right, now once the images are generated, if you don't like one of them or you would like to regenerate, you just click on regenerate this button here. If you are happy with your illustrations, let's move on to the next. Here you are basically asked to choose a layout. So we have different layouts. The first one, which shows the illustration with this rounded border. And then the second one is similar, but we display the title at the top. And then you have a plain illustration here where just the illustration will be added, nothing else. And then you can also have the illustration with the title, but without the border. I'm actually going to choose this one, border with a title, and then you go and click next. At this stage, you are going to select the pages where you want these illustrations to go. By default, it will select the first 4 pages. And because we have 4 illustrations, so we need 4 pages. If you don't like these, you can just deselect. So in fact, I don't want that. So I'm going to keep the first page to be the page for a label, like this book belongs to kind of a page. And then I'm going to leave this one as a blank. So my illustrations would start at page number 3. Since I need 4, I'm going to click to page number 6. So you press Shift and click the other page to select a range of pages. Once that's done, you basically just click on generate the book, so the illustrations will be added to those specific pages. So I'm just going to click on generate the book here. And voila, as you can see, the first illustration has been added to page number 3, and the other one has been added as well. So great, so we have our illustrations in this format, but obviously you can be creative, you can change, you can edit, you can do a lot of things here, right? So you don't have to stick to these specific layouts. You can be creative and build your own layout. All right, another thing to point out is when you create a coloring book, the AI will also automatically generate an image that you can use for your cover. To find that image, you basically go to the images here, and then you see that we have our illustrations saved here. And we also have this image that got generated to be used for the cover for this specific book here, right? So I'm gonna zoom a little bit out here so that we see the main cover so that we can work on it right now. If you are not familiar with the Amazon KDP, or if you didn't watch the previous video, so these margins are really important. So the red margin is the trim area, that is where the cut will happen. And then the orange is basically the safe area. So any content will be here, you are safe. And then this blue lines denotes the spin. And you can see this square here. This is where the barcode will be added. So make sure this area will be is kept empty, because anything you put here will be then overridden by the barcode, right? And again, if you're not familiar with Amazon KDP, so this side here, like the right side, is basically the front of the cover, and the left side is the back of the cover. All right. Now that our cover is selected and I am in the images and I can see the AI image. In fact, if you'd like to see all of your AI images, you can just click on View All, which will take you to this one, and you are also able to generate AI images here as well. So, and you can always use this button to go back, right? So in this case, I'm just going to click it from here and add it to the page. That's great. And one of the tricks that I would like to use, I usually just resize this one. So the front cover is always basically the image that I have. And as you can see, I'm actually going beyond the area, beyond the bleed. And that's good because, you know, with print, when this goes to production, like there could be some print errors or cat errors. And if you don't extend your image beyond this trim area, then there is a risk that if there is a production error when they cut the book, then you will have like this blank, this white lines, and that's something you don't really want to have, right? So I'm just gonna put this one here. And what I will do next, I will choose a different color for my cover here. So I'm just going to go to the background and choose a color. So you have multiple colors here. You have palettes. You can choose one of these colors here if you would like to use, or you can use any of these existing colors here, but you can also pick a new color. And I would like to pick something that actually is within the image. So what I can do is probably use this color picker here, and maybe I will go with this blue color. And yeah, now you click on it and that's it. So my cover now is actually blue. What we can do on the cover, or what I usually do, because this is the first thing what people will see on Amazon once your book is listed, you can actually have a preview on the illustrations that are on the book, right? So you can go to this one page, click on the image, and then do Command C or Control C if you are on Windows. Go back to the cover here and Control V or Command V to paste it. Then you can just resize this one here. Right? The other way of doing it as well is just from the Pages menu, since we have the illustrations. So I'm just going to add a couple of the illustrations that will be in my book into this area here. And I'm going to add this one, right? Okay. So something like this, and then you can actually select all of them like that and choose position here. And then you can actually align them, and let's say, let's spread everything. And then we can also group this one if you want so that we can move them as the help box. What I like to do as well in my cover, I usually include the copyright notice here. So what you can do is go to the text here to add that. Instead of writing that on your own, you can use the AI Magic Writer. So click on that and then you will have the place where you're going to enter your prompt. So I'm just going to do write copyright notice for a coloring book and click on generate. The AI has generated this copyright notice here for me. If you are happy with this, great, you just use content. Otherwise, you can always click on this icon here to edit your prompt and try out a new writer content. In my case, for this demo, I'm happy with what I got there. So I just click on use content and it will automatically add the text to the currently selected page. In my case, I am still on the cover and that's where I want it to be. So I just resize it here. And I can also change the alignment by clicking here multiple times. So I'm gonna left align that. You can fill in the content, right? So here we have 2025. And then you basically just put the name here. For this demo, let's call this one the Animals Kingdom Publishing, just a fake name there. Yeah, you can also change the color. I think I'm going to go with white for this text. Yeah. You can also change the font and you can also change the font, as I said. So now we have a lot of fonts and these are all free to use. So yeah, I think I will just keep using Enter, or maybe I'm gonna switch to pop in here. You can change the font size, you can change the style, and here you can also change some advanced like line height if you are not happy with what you see. All right, I think this looks good because again, we are only at 70%. So if I go to 100%, then you can see that the text is quite readable and I'm happy with it. You can also close this one like this. So yeah. And that's pretty much how you can create coloring book, right? Of course, for this demo, I didn't create all the illustrations, but you got the idea on how you can create them. For the first page here, we can also just create belongs to kind of page. So I'm just going to add a heading here and I'm just going to do this book belongs to. And what I can do, put this one up and then I go to the paper to add like some writable area. Just scale it. This is dynamic and then I'm just going to change the vertical spacing to something that I like. This is looking good to me. And I can also change the color, right? So I can go and change it to this gray color instead. What we can do as well is maybe I will resize this a little bit and then I will select this one too. Let me resize it. So I'm going to do that again, go to position and I'm going to center it. Right, and then I'm going to group these elements. Now I can center these group based on the page, right? So I want it to be on the middle and also in the center. Now this content is centered in my book. Obviously, you can always ungroup the element here. And then I can also change the font now to something maybe a little bit nicer. I think pop-in looks good, but yeah, I mean, you can choose really whatever font you want, right? So this is just to show you what you can do with BooksGenie.ai. All right, I'm going to leave it at this. And then we said this is going to be blank. And obviously, we have our illustrations that comes up next. And let's say you want to basically create other illustrations, right? So you can always follow the same process. So you just go here and provide a new theme and go through the process again, and then you would be able to select the different pages. All right. Now what we can do is going to export this book so that we can upload it to our KDP. So that's why we have this button here. So you just click on export, and this will compile this book into a format that KDP will accept. So as you can see, this is going to take some time depending on how busy the systems are, or like how many people are creating books at the time. So we just wait for this to finish. Now it's just compiling those pages and images into a book. Now it's assembling our book, so we just have to wait for this to finish, and then we will be able to download our book. All right, that's done basically, and you just click on download the book, and it will open this pop-up where you can save your book. I'm just going to save it into the desktop for now. Then I'm going to open it here. So I have my book here, and what I can do now is just look at the cover. So here is our cover that we need to upload to Amazon KDP. It looks pretty cool, right? And I also have my interior. This is a book interior that was just generated for us. And as you can see, it's pretty well formatted. And when you upload this one to Amazon KDP, it fits their format, and the margins will be all correctly done. Yeah, the other pages are blank because we didn't add any illustrations there. So that's how you can create coloring books using BooksGenie.ai. In fact, but obviously this is a quick demo just to show you how you can actually create it. But for you to create really books that sell, you need to spend some time thinking about the cover, the design, and so on, right? So for example, here we don't have any title on our book, but you can easily add that. So if you go to the shapes here, maybe I'm gonna try to use this one here. I'm just gonna make this a little bit bigger, right? And what I can do now is change the color. I will probably choose white, which is already selected. Right, great. Maybe I will change the opacity here, and then I will add a title for my book. So I just go to text here and click on add heading, or you can add a text box if you want. This will add this text box here, and I'm just gonna bring it, and my book title, I will just call this one like Animals Kingdom. Can change the font size a bit. You can also change this to something nice. Maybe this one looks good, right? And you can just figure out where to put it, right? So maybe we're gonna just put it a little bit here. All right, so you got the idea, and this is how you can create coloring books. And then whenever you make some changes and you would like to export the book again, you just click on export the book once again. I hope you find this useful. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos. Genie.ai.